sure that I will have some special message for you this afternoon. So when I spoke with Adam, he asked me to have some topic for young people, and I told him, okay, do you want me to prepare something about social media, internet? And he said, yes, it will be perfect. And now I'm not sure how many young people we have here. But I hope that everyone will find something for him or her. Okay. So in the first part of my presentation, I would like to read some Bible verse, and then we will give some comments on that. And then in the second part, I will speak about internet and social media. So Revelation 18:23. I believe that you are familiar with this Bible verse. So on the end of this verse, you can read that for by your sorcery, all the nations were deceived. So you understand that someone is going to deceive all nations. How? Which way? By sorcery. So my question, do you know what sorcery is? Okay. Sorcery. Pharmaceutical. How do you know that? Okay, so he's right. If you go to a dictionary and you want to understand what Greek words is used for word sorcery, you will find Greek word pharmakia, which is word for pharmacy. So we are using this word today for pharmacy. So here you can see different ways how pharmacy, word pharmakia, was used in New Testament time. So I will give you another. Oh, sorry, I'm not changing. So first, the use or administrating of drugs. Second meaning is poisoning. So if you want to poison someone, you will. What are you going to do? Okay, third way of using that word is sorcery or magical arts. But metaphorically, it was used for deception and seduction. Pharmakeus or pharmaceus is one who prepares poison, or what is the right pronunciation of this word? Okay. I would like to just watch in the last sentence. Here you have one more meaning of word pharmacy, which is taking control over the behavior of an individual. So pharmacy is a word which you can use in the good way, which is a word for medicine. But usually in New Testament time, word pharmacy was used in a bad sense, meaning as a magic, mixing poison, any substance that should poison someone, or taking control over the behavior of an individual. So, question is, how can someone control my behavior? Do I need to take some drugs to be controlled? Or there is some another way if someone wants to control my behavior? So if we read the Bible, we can find in Genesis 3:1 the verse that serpent was more cunning than any beast of the field which the Lord God has made. And he said to the woman, has God indeed said, you shall not eat of every tree of the garden? So, what we understand here, Satan used medium when he wanted to deceive or to take control of Adam and Eve. What is medium? If someone asks you, what is medium? What are you going to answer? What is medium? Okay, meaning of that is something or someone in the middle. But for what we are using that word today? Okay. Okay. So I find another words for that, which is a mediator or agent or channel. Okay. So if you want to put something between someone, what you put between is medium or mediator or agent or channel. What do you think? Did Satan use an ugly snake to deceive Adam and Eve? No. Why?
Because Eve wouldn't be speaking as an ugly snake. He wanted something to enchant her.
Okay. What did Satan use if he didn't use ugly snake? Did he maybe use beautiful snake? If you read book Patriarchs and Prophets from Ellen White, you will find this statement. The snake was among the wisest and most beautiful creatures on earth at that time. It had wings, and while it was flying, it shined with free shine in the color of polished gold. Do you believe in this? So I try to find, is it true that in the past snake had wings? Do we have any information about that? So I found that in all old civilizations, you can find the pictures of the snake with the wings. So this one is from Egypt. And for example, in South America civilization, old civilization, name of that civilization is Aztecs. So they had a legend about Kukulkan. And Kukulkan was wonderful bird snake. So it was a snake who had wings like a bird. And Kukulkan was the symbol of sun god, so it was a serpent with wings. You can see here a picture of that serpent. And then, of course, today, which is interesting, you can find pictures about Kukulkan, and you can find that people who produce video games, they use that serpent or Kukulkan as a motive for one of the video game. So here you can see a snake with the wings. It is golden snake with the wings. And of course, you can find some people who are doing tattoos on themselves. And what is interesting, you can find a snake with the wings. What does it mean? So we have a snake with the wings. So this is, we can prove that in the past and from past to nowadays we have something which is used in different ways. Okay, So, question is, how is Satan deceiving the whole world today? We understood that when he deceived Adam and Eve, he used medium or snake. So question is Satan coming personally and directly when he wants to deceive someone? Did you see him? Okay. When you see this picture, what do you think? What this group of kids, teenagers, what they are doing? How do you know that they are watching TV? Sorry? Oh, they have remote control. Okay, very good. So they are watching TV, and what they are doing else? So they are eating and drinking. So, so it's interesting that when you watch TV, usually you have a need to drink something and eat something. And as Natalie said, usually it's some kind of junk food or bad drinks. For me, it is very interesting that in English there is a word which they use for, let's say like this. You have a words like entertainment industry. Okay, so in my country, industry is not used for entertainment. Industry is used for production of something. So you have, I don't know, some kind of steel industry, for example, but not entertainment industry. So here you can see the meaning of the word entertainment, but what is interesting, origin of word entertain is a Latin origin, and you can see here that you have a combination of two Latin words. One is inter, meaning of that word is among or inside, it can be used for inside, and tenere, Latin word tenere, to hold. So Latin meaning of that word is to keep someone in certain state of mind. So question is, what is entertainment? Is it something which is made just to give you fun? No, entertainment is something which is made to keep you in certain state of mind. Do you understand? You have another word, English word, amuse. Today, this word is used for to be occupied in a pleasant or fun way. Do you use that word, amuse? But old meaning of that word, or archaic meaning, is to deceive. So English-speaking people in old time, they used word amuse for deceive, to deceive someone. Okay, I believe that Satan uses the medium even today. So today we have a word media, and here you can read what is the meaning of that word. And usually a word media we use for communication, and if we speak about different kind of media, we are speaking about radio, TV, newspapers, magazines, and now internet. And what is the reason for using media? To reach or influence people widely. Okay, here you can see this is book which I wrote few years ago. It was 2018. I did research about this topic, about internet, social media, and TV. And I wrote a book, and name of the book is Who Educate Our Children? It's translation of title of that book. So in that book, I did some research. It is not my wisdom, okay? I'm not that smart. I'm not speaking here about myself. I just did research. And now I would like to show you what I found when I did research about social media, internet. I don't have time to speak about other media. Okay. Social media, for what we are using social media? What is the reason to use social media? For communication, is it good or bad? Okay, here you can see just few information about using internet and social media today. This is January 2020. We have 7.91 billion people on our planet. So 5.31 billion people are using mobile phone, which is 67.1% of all population. Then you have 62.5% of population using internet. But it's interesting that we still have about 40% of people, they are not using internet. So if we think about Western countries, you can find that most of these users live in Western world. So you have here active social media users is about 58.4%. Internet, 4.95 billion people. Then internet users as a percentage of total population, 62.5. And then 6 hours and 55 minutes is average daily time spent using the internet by each internet user. 6 hours and 58 minutes. Percentage of users accessing the internet via mobile phones, 92.1. Social media, average daily spent using, oh no, sorry. Yeah, social media, sorry, I didn't change in my. So social media, 58.5 of total population. Then users, 74.8. Then you have average daily time spent using social media. It's 2 hours and 27 minutes. And you have there male and female, yeah. Okay, now, my research. Christina Gregory, in the article Internet Addiction Disorder, Signs, Symptoms and Treatment, writes about internet addiction disorder, which is also called compulsive internet use, problematic internet use, or I disorder. So, do you see this picture? Maybe it's too small. The answer to several questions can be revealed by people suffering from this disorder. Do you spend a lot of time on the internet? Do you often shop online? Can't stop constantly checking your Facebook messages. Does excessive computer use interfere with your daily life relationships work, and schoolwork? If the answer to any of these questions is yes, it is possible that a person suffers from this type of disorder. So what is the problem with that? If person suffers from this type of disorder, their brain is the same as that of people who suffer from addiction to chemicals such as drugs and alcohol. So what kind of problem we have here? Maybe we think, oh, it is not a problem, I'm just watching something on internet. But you can see here that we have problem with the same kind of addiction, like using drugs and alcohol. Some studies have linked that internet addiction physically changes the structure of the brain and specifically affects the amount of gray matter in the region of the prefrontal part of the brain. This part of the brain is associated with remembering details, paying attention, planning, and prioritizing tasks. Do you understand now what kind of problem we have? This type of addiction affects the pleasure center of the brain. Addictive behavior triggers the release of dopamine to promote the experience of pleasure by activating the release of the chemical. So now I have a question for you. Who can explain us what dopamine is? Dopamine is what?
It's a chemical that makes you feel happy.
Good, okay. So it is neurotransmitter. And can you explain a little bit deeper? Okay. So dopamine is usually released when you are doing something and when you finish that job and you feel good because of that. Then our brain is releasing dopamine. Okay? So you have a natural way of releasing dopamine. But here you will see in my presentation that here we have artificial releasing dopamine. Okay? Over time, more and more activities are required that will lead to the same satisfaction, and thus addiction is created. So we can be addicted to that hormone or to that neurotransmitter. Biological predisposition to internet addiction disorder may also be a factor in the development of this disorder. If someone suffers from this disorder, their dopamine and serotonin levels may be lower than the general population. Predisposition to internet addiction is also related to depression and anxiety. So what does this mean? If you are a person who has depression or anxiety, if you have a lower level of dopamine and serotonin, you will have a problem that you can be more addicted and have a problem with this disorder. Okay, now we have a few symptoms about eye disorder. Emotional symptoms include the following: depression. What is the pronunciation of this? Insincerity. Okay, feeling of guilt, anxiety, feeling of euphoria when using computer, inability to prioritize and maintain a schedule, isolation, insensitivity to time, avoiding work, mood swings, fear, loneliness. And then you have physical symptoms of this disorder: back pain, headache, insomnia. You know what is insomnia? Okay. poor nutrition, poor hygiene, pain in the neck, dry eyes, and vision problems, gaining or losing weight. Do you have any of these problems? Okay. Larry Rosen, professor of psychology at California State University, author of the study How Social Network Can Help and Harm Our Children, believes that the use of Facebook and other social networks can have significantly adverse effects on teenagers and young people. Rosen conducted research on a sample of 1,000 adolescents and well as 15 minutes observation of 300 teenagers during the implementation of that research. So, Rosen points out the following as a negative influence of social networks. Teenagers who use Facebook show narcissistic tendencies much more often, but also signs of psychological disorders, including antisocial behavior, mania, and aggressiveness. Is it something good or bad? Excessive daily use of media and technologies has a negative impact on the health of all children, both in the younger and teenage years, making them prone to anxiety, depression, and other psychological disorders, but also more susceptible to some health problems that could appear in the future. Facebook causes attention deficit disorder and can negatively affect learning processes. The research shows that school-age children and students who check the news from Facebook at least once during the 15 minutes test have lower grades in school and studies. So this man, Larry Rosen, he did this kind of test. So test was for 15 minutes, and he tested that young people, are they going to check their Facebook or not? Research conducted by the University of Michigan has shown that the use of Facebook leads to young people feeling less and less good. The more Facebook they use, the worse they feel day by day, and the less satisfied they feel with their lives. Okay? So it's especially a problem with the young people. According to research by the Australian Psychological Society, Fomo, did you hear about Fomo? You're Australians. Do you know what Fomo is? Okay, that's nice. So Fomo is a fear of missing out on something important, such as friends, pranks, parties, and other fun activities of peers, leads to depression. FOMO is one of the main reasons teenagers use social media. Oops. According to Patricia Greenfield research, connections through social networks separate people from connection in real life and thus prevent the development of social skills. Social interaction is needed to develop the ability to understand other people's emotions and to understand non-verbal communication. So if you are using social media and if it is the only way how you communicate with other people, you will not develop social skills. Research conducted by University of Glasgow has shown that use of social networks, especially at night, with a strong emotional involvement, leads to poor sleep, affects the deterioration of self-image, and increases anxiety levels, which can lead to children with low self-image becoming depressed adults. So, problem with social media is that big that magazine Time, very famous magazine Time, had what is the name of that? Naslovna strana is cover page, yeah, on the cover page. This picture, me generation. Selfies that have become popular with the development of camera phones can cause a person to become obsessed with their appearance, which can affect mental health. Social networks make children self-centered because they get their own page that concerns themselves. So children think that everything revolves around them, which is a prelude to emotional problems in their later life. Okay? Study by a team of economists from the University of Sheffield shows that the more children spend time on social networks, the less happy they are about having to do schoolwork. They don't feel happy in the school they attend. They are dissatisfied with their appearance, their family, and their life in general. So we have here strong connection between using social media and everyday life of young people. Teenagers see their friends portraying themselves in their ideal version when they post pictures of themselves on social media. Sensitive teenager may suffer from depression when he reads about great things happening to his friends, and his life is not so great in comparison. This effect was found to worsen the condition of those children who lack self-confidence. Rosen claims that Facebook also has some positive effects on the development of children and adolescents. Young people who spend more time on Facebook show more virtual compassion towards their online friends. Is it easier to be friend online or in person? In person. Good. I think that kids are only who are listening me. Thanks to Facebook, introverted adolescent children can socialize more painlessly behind the safety of monitor or phone screen than would be the case in real situation. Social networks allow children to make friends faster than before. Children can thus make friends all over the world, most of whom they would never meet without technology. Is it true? Yes, we can say it is true. So social networks allow children to make friends faster than before. Children can, Social networks make children more relationship-oriented and empathetic. Children remember birthdays and congratulate them. They comment on their friends' pictures, videos, and status. What is the right pronunciation? Status. They form long-term friendship by staying in touch online, even when friends no longer meet in person. So, we spoke about bad things with social media, and now we have a few points which say that we have something good in using social media. So, despite the mentioned positive effects on social networks or media, the question remains why the creators of the most popular social network publicly confessed their guilt and repented for having participated in something like that, according to them, has very bad consequences for individuals and society as whole. So I will finish my presentation with two men who they work for Facebook. One of them is Sean, probably Sean Parker. He is one of the founders of Facebook, and he explained that their main goal was to grab as much of the user's time and attention as possible. That approach leads to the creation of the like button. You all know what is like. I'm not using Facebook, so I'm not familiar with that, but I know what like is. So, which gives users a little dose of dopamine. So, what is good, why social media or why Facebook is that good for young people? It is not because your mobile phone, it is not because you are watching something very nice. It's because of your brain. It is because of level of your dopamine. So, little dose of dopamine every time they get a like, which prompts them to post even more content, which leads to even more likes, and so on and on. So, and this is how you become addicted to dopamine. And this is the reason why you are using your social media 6 hours per day. Because you need dopamine. It is a social validation feedback loop, something a hacker like me could come up with, because you are abusing what is, okay, of the human psyche. You know what is psyche? Psyche, it's your soul. It literally changes your relationship with society, the very relationship between people. It probably affects productivity in a weird way. Who knows what is doing our children's brain? This is co-founder of Facebook. This is his statement. And another one, do you know this man? No? Chamath Palihapitiya, former vice president of Facebook, said he feels immense guilt for his work on tools that tear apart the fabric of society. Those short-term dopamine triggers feedback loops that we have created are destroying the way society works. There is no civil discourse, no cooperation. There is misinformation and altered truths. This is a global problem. Your behavior, you don't realize it, but you are programming yourself. Do you remember our story from the beginning of presentation? What did Satan do when he tried to deceive Adam and Eve? He used medium. What is he doing today? If he wants to programming us, if he wants to control us, what is he doing? He is using medium. I believe he can use whatever he wants, but I believe one of that ways how he can control us is media. Your behavior, you don't realize it, but you are programming yourself. Now you have to decide how much you will give up, how much you will keep your intellectual independence. Palihapitiya adds that social networks are dangerous and threaten to destroy society, and people need to rethink their relationship with social networks. He tries to use Facebook as little as possible and does not allow his children to use it. So men who create social media, who is one of the founders of Facebook, he's not allow his children to use it. Okay, my conclusion. Let us not allow others to control our behavior, number one. Do you agree with me? Let's be careful about how and how much we use the media. Okay? And number three, use the media for good. For example, preaching the gospel. Can we use media for that? Of course we can. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. Sorry for some bad pronunciation of some words. But I just try to present you how social media, how internet can be dangerous to us, and especially to young people and children. Okay, we can finish.